Recording in progress.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Sandy Ratliff. I'm with Virginia Community Capital, and I'm so happy that you could join us today for our new knowledge session. If you're not familiar with Virginia Community Capital, we are a community development financial institution focused on lending, investing, and community innovation services. We're happy to be a partner in this program with the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator, the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, and the town of Abington. It's hard to believe that this program has been going since 2014 as a way to support the Washington County Business Challenge, and was just continuing to grow and almost become a statewide program. Just a little housekeeping. I wanted to let you know that today's session will be recorded for training and education purposes. And it will be loaded on the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator's Facebook page. And then we have a YouTube channel called New Knowledge, where we've got probably close to 150 workshops that we have recorded over the past years that you have on-demand access to. Now, in order to keep the webinar flowing, we do have everyone muted and your cameras off. However, these workshops only work with input from you as a participant. And if you have a question for our speaker today, feel free to post those in the Q&A section, and he will respond to those, or the moderator will see those and get Danny's attention for you. So please participate. And if you have a question, let us know. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Kathy Lowe. Kathy is the Executive Director of the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator, and Kathy's going to introduce our speaker and moderate for the day. So, Kathy, it's all yours.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to Danny Ruble. Danny has been a CPA at Spiegler Blevins for as long as I've known him, and does a great job. Danny's one of the experts in QuickBooks at the Spiegler Blevins CPA. And so I think you're going to be happy with the presentation. I think Danny is going to do 4 sessions on QuickBooks. So whatever you don't learn today, let us know, and we will share that with Danny when he prepares for his next session. Without further ado, my friend, Danny Ruble.
Thank you, Kathy and Sandy, and welcome everybody. Despite my background, I am most definitely not at the beach or anywhere coastal. It would be certainly nice to be there right now, but not there quite yet. I am going to share my screen, or at least attempt to anyway. Kathy, can you let me know, can you see the QuickBooks screen?
It's not up, Danny.
Okay.
We've got your hidden screen.
There we go.
There, yeah, you got it.
All right, perfect. This is the home page to QuickBooks Online. One of the questions that I've had already is to discuss the differences between QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop, and which product might be best for you. They're both produced by Intuit, and in all honesty, Intuit is trying to drive everybody to the online version. The QuickBooks Online is a subscription-based service. There are 3 or 4 different levels of pricing for QuickBooks Online, just depending on how easy or how complex your accounting needs are. This year, Intuit instituted a new subscription-based pricing for QuickBooks Desktop users as well. It used to be that you could buy one version of QuickBooks Desktop and create or open as many companies as you needed. And starting this year, they've gone to a subscription-based service on the desktop version as well. Both programs work essentially the same. A lot of people find the desktop version is a little more user-friendly. I think it just depends on which program you get used to. I will say that the desktop version does make running reports a little easier, and right now there seems to be more reports available in the desktop version. But as with all things that are on the web today, QuickBooks is constantly adding improvements and features to QuickBooks Online. With that being said, I'm going to dive into the QuickBooks Online. Right now I have a sample company up, Craig's Design and Landscaping Services, and I will try not to butcher their books. This is when you first log in, this is the screen that you will come to. It's the home page. Some people prefer this page. Personally, I prefer to go to this business overview. It gives you a quick snapshot of what your revenues and expenses are. And on the right-hand side, it gives you your bank accounts. Craig's Design and Landscaping has 4 different accounts set up. They've got a checking account, a savings account, and 2 credit card accounts. One of the ways that QuickBooks makes things easier for you to do your accounting is they will sync your bank account with the bank. And so we're just going to pop into the checking account here. And what will happen is if you want to link your account, you'll click on this link account button and you will choose your bank or put in, for instance, First Bank and Trust. You can type in the web address, and if it's linked, if it's available, it will come up and show you that bank is available. Because this is a sample company, it's not letting me go any further, but what would normally happen after you type in the web address and click the bank is you will need to key in your online credentials. A lot of banks will use multi-factor authentication today. So when you're wanting to link your bank account for the first time, there's a good chance that you will also have to key in a multi-factor code. And once the bank account is linked, QuickBooks will sync with the bank almost in real time, but at least on a daily basis. And so what will happen is you'll come to this screen and it will ask you whether you want to accept or match transactions. So Books by Bessie here, they've received some income. Maybe there's no invoice and you just want to add it to your bank account, and you would just simply click add right here. Any items that you see right here that shows matched, such as Nick's Hardware, this indicates that you've already entered a transaction and QuickBooks is matching it. And so when you click the match, it will disappear. But what happens is when you go to reconcile your bank account, all the matched transactions will automatically be cleared for you. And so that's a neat feature that makes reconciling bank accounts pretty easy. Pam Seltz, it shows that there's 2 matches here. So when you click it, it will bring up the two items that it's trying to match. And so it's asking here, do you want to match this with an expense by Pam Seltz, or do you want to match it to a bill payment? And so depending on which one you're wanting to match, you'll make the selection and click match. And ideally, you would do this on a daily basis or at least on a weekly basis, and that will certainly go a long ways to helping you keep your books in pretty good shape. Again, this is the checking version. You can click the drop down here and go to the other bank accounts. So this is the MasterCard, and just like the bank accounts, it's showing us that we have some items that are matched up, as well as an item that is unmatched right now. If you like the simplicity and you like the QuickBooks to do a lot of the work for you, this is a good feature. One of the other things that the bank feed does is similar to QuickBooks Parent's Name Intuit. QuickBooks Online tries to be intuitive. So once you record a deposit or record an expense, it will try to remember that, so that, for example, if you go to, let's say, Food City Gas and Go, the next time it sees Gas and Go, it will automatically ask you, do you want to put it into the auto expense? When you're categorizing items before you add it, you want to try to clear anything that says uncategorized expense. This is Intuit's way of saying, we don't know where this goes. And so to categorize it, you'll do what I just did. Just click on the transaction, and on this category here, it will ask you, where do you want to put this? This says layers lamination. So just for funsies, I'm going to charge it to this account, and then click add, and it takes it away from the transactions. Again, this is, you access these screens from the dashboard on the business overview, and then you select which account you want to use. Also within here, you can pretty much sort any of these categories. You can sort it by the description, by the payee. If you want to see, if you want to sort it by expense, you can sort it from largest to smallest, and you can do the same thing with deposits. Another feature while we're in this screen that I really like, a lot of our clients use it, it gives you the ability, you see this paper clip in between the received and action. It gives you the ability to link documents to the transactions. So if you have receipts that you want to scan in, or invoices that come in by email, it gives you the ability to add an attachment, and then you just go to wherever it is on your PC that you've got the document, and you can link it there. And that certainly makes it easier for any external accountants that you may have assisting you, that instead of us having to give you a call to ask you for a receipt, we can jump in there and take a look at the receipt if you've attached it. That's a feature that, as an accountant, I really appreciate. Within QuickBooks Online, for the most part, there are several features that you can use, and there are multiple ways to get to those items. From the business overview, this is the shortcut to get to your bank accounts. You can also go to banking here and click on banking, and it'll take you to the same screen that we've been looking at already.
Hey, Danny, we've got a couple questions, and you said that you wanted to know. One, can you create your own categories based on your budget for expenses and income?
As far as categories, I guess I would call that a chart of accounts. Can you create your own chart of accounts? Yes, you can. Right here, this is the chart of accounts for this company. If there's an account that you would like that you don't have, you would simply click the new button here. On this drop down, you're going to want to pick what type of an account is this. Is it a new bank account? Is it an income item, or is it an expense? And then on the detail type, you don't really have to use the detail type, but it does give you the option to use the detail type. And then you can put the name that you want to use and or the description. If it's a sub account, so say for example you're tracking your expenses, like right here. These 4 items are the sub accounts of job materials, and the job materials is a sub account of the landscaping services. So you can create new accounts there. I'm not 100% sure if that answers that question or not.
Well, let us know, Sally, if it didn't. And we've got a couple more from Hannah. Say you return an item to a store and they refund you your credit card. How do you record that?
Sure. So to record that, I like to use the new button. The new button brings up the screen that lets you, to me, it's the easiest way to navigate. And what you would do is under vendors, there's a credit card credit here. You would click credit card credit. Say you got a refund from Bob's Burger Joint. You're going to want to choose which card it went to, MasterCard or Visa, and pick your category. Refund on, let's call it today's date, and we'll say they gave us $15 back or $150 back, and just save and close. And that will put the credit back on. It'll show up as a payment on the reconciliation for your credit card. As far as how you record cashback rewards on your credit card, probably very similar. I would probably use the credit card credit and pick a miscellaneous income or another income account to put those rewards in. If the rewards are specific to a specific type of purchase, I would simply credit that back to where the original charges went. Let's see. As far as setting a recurring bill, as far as setting up recurring bills, what you would want to do is do new on the under vendors. I would select expense. Say we're paying let's say we're going to charge this. Pick checking or saving. Depending on checking or credit card. put in the category that you want to put it in. Say it's $50 a month. And what you would want to do first is right here in the lower right hand corner, instead of hitting save and close or save and new, you would want to save the transaction. And then once you save the transaction, you would mark it as recurring. It would bring on the recurring expense, it brings you to this page. It asks you how often do you want to do it, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. It gives you a couple options as far as do you want to do it on a specific day, or do you want to do it on a specific date? Tell it when you want to start. If there's no end date, you can leave it as none, and then you would save the template. And so on that template, whatever the recurring dates that you've set up for, it will automatically post that. Now, if you want to change that template, you would go to the gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, and you're going to want to look at recurring transactions. And in the recurring transaction, right here, it shows you that you can, it shows you what transactions you have set up, the next time that it's scheduled to post, the amount, and if you want to edit it, the transaction, you just simply click edit. And the little right arrow, if you want to use it immediately, you can click use, or if you want to delete the template, you can certainly delete the template. Templates is something we'll probably cover that in the next session when we go into more detail about invoicing and recording sales transactions. As far as Square, I don't have a lot of experience with with using Square or integration with Square. However, I do know that there are some apps out there that will sync Square with QuickBooks. I just don't have any experience with that. Does that category need to be the original count? I'm sorry, I'm not exactly 100% sure what you're asking there. I'm sorry. As far as again, the new, pretty much anything that you click on the new, whether it's customers or invoices, vendors, employees, if you're choosing to use QuickBooks Online for your payroll, or recording bank deposits, you can pretty much do all of these transactions from the new, or you can use any of the sidebar tools here. Anything that has an arrow to the right hand side, to the right of it, gives you the ability to additional options, I guess is the best way to put it. The gear icon is also another place that this is where you'll want to come to do most of your setup. Under your company with accounts and settings, this will give you a variety of options on the company. Anytime you see a pencil here on the right hand side, gives you the ability to edit. A lot of folks like to put their company logo in here, and that logo will print on statements and invoices for you. You can put your company name, decide whether you want to put your EIN out there or not. company type. This is mainly for the tax purposes, and QuickBooks Online will sync with TurboTax is probably the program that it syncs to most easily. But in trying to help you map those out, it's asking you what type of tax return you're preparing. And then there's other infos here that you can edit with the gear icons. Under sales, it's asking you to what type of terms do you prefer? Is it due on receipt, or do you have net terms? Do you offer shipping? Do you want custom transaction numbers, or do you want QuickBooks to automatically generate the invoice numbers for you? Do you offer discounts or take deposits? And then it's also asking, do you offer products or services? And the products and services, we'll go more in depth on that in the next session when we talk about the invoicing. But this is pretty much everything under the gear icon is all about the setup and how do you want your books set up. As far as expenses, do you track expenses on a job-based project, or do you take them? Are they reimbursable or not reimbursable? Under the advanced, this asks you. I guess one of the questions I get a lot is, and depending on the level of QuickBooks Online subscription, is whether you want to track classes or not. A lot of people find that tracking classes, if you're, for example, you can use classes and locations almost simultaneously. And so, for example, if you own several pieces of real estate and you're wanting to track your income and expenses by property, you would want to choose either classes or locations and to turn those on. And so, again, pretty much anything under the gear icon is letting you set up what type of all of your settings. Do you want your books to be on cash or accrual? Do you close the books? And if you do, it lets you set up a password to post to any closed periods. As far as the credit card returns, my recommendation would be, yes, you charge the credit card credit back to the account that you initially charged. Sorry, just taking a look to see if there's any new questions that have popped in. Trying to think. Go through a couple of reports with you. The profit and loss is pretty standard, and this is based on when you initially set up your company. It will ask you a couple questions as to what type of business you are, and it will generally try to set up a chart of accounts for you. As I showed you earlier, you can certainly create more accounts to suit your needs. When you run a report, QuickBooks Online is really flexible. You can do choose the time period, and they have a lot of different options here. If the option that you're looking for doesn't exist, you can simply click custom, and you'll be able to put in your beginning and ending dates, and the report will generate for you. One of the things that I do here a lot is because accounting by its nature is looking at history, I look to know what happened last month. And so I will run the report last month. Because it's a report that I use a lot, what I will do is I will come up here and I will do save customization. And I'll give it a title of whatever it is that I'm wanting to look at. So for example, this one I'll call prior month profit and loss, and I'll save it. So when I go back to the reports homepage again, you can go to custom reports, and that report that you just saved is right here, and you can click the prior month profit and loss, and it's automatically going to show you whatever the prior month is. So we're in April right now, it's showing us in March. If we were in June, it would show us May because it's been saved to show us last month. Sometimes another request that I get often is how do I see the detail? And so a general ledger will oftentimes show you the detail of each account. And sometimes I'm going to customize this report and the distribution account. A lot of times, for example, in this business, they might want to see what is their job materials. And so let me do last month. I'm going to run the report, and this shows me all the charges that were made to the job materials. And again, if I want to save this, I'm going to do save customization, and in this example, I'll just call it save as job materials, and click save. And the next time I go to my reports on custom, I can do the job materials, and it's immediately going to show me what my expenses were in those categories. Another feature that I didn't show on the profit and loss, when you're looking at your profit and loss statements or your balance sheet, or pretty much any report that's in a summary format such as this, you can click on the amount and it will take you to the detail. One item that I'll caution you with, just like right here, sometimes QuickBooks will show you the detail just for the month that you're looking at. And in this case, it is showing us year to date. I really don't know why it does that. Why sometimes it only shows you a current month, and sometimes it shows you the entire year. But again, once you're in an account, you can, when it brings everything up right here, you can certainly change your dates very easily while you're in the report. While you're in reports, if you want to customize further, you can click the customize button, and under change columns, you can add or subtract columns that you want to see. The other way to customize a report very quickly is to click the gear icon and select the items that you do or don't want to see. The only bad thing about that I found with using the little gear icon on reports is if you check or uncheck something new, it will automatically put it on the end of, so if I want to see the split again, it puts it over here on the right hand side. I find that to be a little frustrating, but you can come back here to the customize, and you can move these items up and down, depending on what the layout is that you want to see. So in some ways, that this makes QuickBooks Online reports a little more flexible than the desktop version. The desktop version pretty much will allow you to choose these items, but it's very limiting as far as showing you how you want the layout to be. I'm going to go back to the chart of accounts for a minute. Again, to create a new account, you would click New. You would choose the type of an account that you're wanting to set up, and then you can either keep the name here, or you could say, type in a new name, and then just save and close, and that item is now in your chart of accounts. Depending on the level of QuickBooks Online subscription that you choose will dictate how many chart of accounts you can have. So we have a message right here telling us that we've used 45 of 250 accounts. To say the truth, 250 accounts is a lot of accounts. But anytime you're adding accounts, you'll want to be cognizant of how many accounts you have in relation to the level of subscription that you have. And of course, right here is giving us the prompt that if we want to have more than 250 accounts, it's giving us the option to upgrade our subscription. So never fear if you pick the wrong level of service. QuickBooks is here to help you upgrade to a newer level. Also within the accounting, right below the chart of accounts is Reconcile, and this is where you reconcile your checkbook or your bank statements and or credit cards. What you'll do is, right here, you just put in your ending balance, on the bank statement, and then choose the ending date, and start reconciling. Right now, this is showing us every transaction that's in here. The two items that you see checked right here, that's from earlier when we were discussing matching items, when we were discussing the bank feed. To simply clear items, you would simply check, and it's going to keep a running total. And our goal right here under the difference is to get that to zero. So once that's zero, you can feel confident that your bank has been reconciled, and you can, once you're completed, you can click Finish Now, and your reconciliation will be out there for you to print or download. You can also get to prior reconciliations under Reports. Here in the search bar, if you know the name of the report, you can start typing it in, and it will pop up for you. As you can see, the folks here have not, in the sample company, have not reconciled any of their bank accounts, but if they had, your prior reconciliations would be on this screen. Are there any other questions right now? How do you record partial payments or payments? As far as recording payments from customers, and you would probably want to go to the sales and then the customers if you want to record a partial payment. What you would do is I'm trying to find an invoice that's open right now. So this invoice right here, you would receive payment, and what you would do is you're going to want to tell it to either put the payment in undeposited funds or into your checking account. And if you want, say they only paid $150, you would change the amount received to $150, and it would change the amount here. And when you save and close, you will notice that this payment started out with $459 balance, but they only have $89 outstanding. As far as that's how you go about receiving a partial payment. Would I send a statement showing the amount due on the partial payment? That's really kind of up to you. If you're accustomed to sending statements, then I certainly would. Sometimes a quick phone call works just as well, just to remind them that you didn't receive full payment. As far as sending on overpayments, if say you've if it's a recurring customer, and again this amount is open as $89, but say they send $100 in because they know they're going to be doing more business with you, it is going to create a credit on their account, and you can see up here that that they have an $11 credit on the account. Sending a refund is a little trickier, and I may save that to discuss further when we do more of the sales and the invoicing transactions. But yes, it will create a credit for you, and the next time you create a transaction, it will ask you if you want to apply that credit to the invoice. As you can see right here, it automatically applied that credit to the invoice, and that's a setup feature within the gear icon. I don't recall exactly where it is. I think it's under the sales. It will ask you that there is an option in here that will ask you, do you want to apply credits automatically to the next invoice? And you can turn that feature on or off. Not sure if I answered all of your questions there, Gene, but I get again, we'll talk about customer refunds in a future lunch and learn. Again, this is it's kind of a high level overview of QuickBooks Online. Again, the dashboard is a good starting point. Just remember that the gear icon is the icon that you will use to do the majority of your setup work in, and any of the items here on the left hand side can get you to the transactions, or the fastest way is probably to use this new button. And Sandy and Kathy, that's really about everything that I had set up for today. Again, we'll cover receivables, payables, and invoicing on a future lunch and learn. And if there's any more questions now, I'd be happy to try to tackle those. If not, I look forward to seeing you at the next lunch and learn.
Danny, I don't see any other questions right now, but I do have a question. In your experience as a CPA and helping people for many years, what are the 3 to 4 areas of QuickBooks that you find people fail or mix up, get in trouble with?
I think probably using the bank sync. The bank sync, if you use it, once you add transactions, I think one of the most common errors we see is, say somebody will come in and match a deposit, but then they'll also come in and they'll say, they'll click here to make a deposit. And what they've done is they've doubled up their deposits and or expenses, with duplicate checks. QuickBooks will give you an error message that you're getting ready to enter a duplicate check number. But if you're using the bank feed, it can be really easy to double up on transactions. One of the best ways to make sure that your books and the bank feed are in sync with each other is right here. It's showing us what our bank balance is and what's in QuickBooks. Ideally, those two amounts would match up, and that'll help you know that your books are in sync. That's probably the biggest item that I've encountered that folks run into trouble with. It's just recording duplicate entries, whether it's duplicate checks or duplicate deposits.
One other question. Earlier, you showed an example of the business that had not reconciled. How often do you suggest customers or people that you work with reconcile their statements?
I would encourage everybody to reconcile their statements at least once a month, whenever the bank generates a new bank statement, and ideally you would probably want to do that within the first couple of days of getting that statement, and that will help you ensure that your books are nice and clean.
Great. One question from Sally. What version would you recommend for a small nonprofit organization with small budget with no employees, online versus desktop?
So as far as, small nonprofit, no budget, no employees, I would tend to I guess it sort of depends on how many people need access to the books. If very few people need access to the books, I would probably recommend desktop, simply because you're making one purchase, and with no employees, no payroll, that version of desktop is going to last several years for you. Now, if you have multiple people that need access to the books, then you would probably want to go with the cheapest version of QuickBooks Online. I think the lowest level, let me go to the gear icon here and manage users. I think the lowest level of service on QuickBooks Online will allow you to have up to 3 users and 2 accounting firms. And so to add a user, you would simply determine what level of user you want them to have. It will ask you for their email address, and whoever you're inviting, their user ID will be their email address, and they will receive an invitation to have access to the books. Similarly, if you've got an accounting firm that's helping you out, you would simply invite the accounting firm. You put the email address in right here, and click invite, and that accounting firm will receive the invitation to accept you into their books. And I guess the one item about QuickBooks Online that I didn't discuss at the very beginning versus desktop is the great thing about QuickBooks Online is what we like to call is you have access anytime, anywhere from any device. You can download the apps on your phone. I have an Android phone, and so I have a QuickBooks Online app on my phone. It's also available on the iPhone, iPad, and unlike the desktop version, QuickBooks Online can be used on both Macs and PCs without any issues because it's a web-based product. But with the desktop version, you'll have to choose whether you want to use a Mac version or a PC version, and the two aren't very interchangeable.
Well, one thing too, as you were talking, I thought that you got to look at too is security. And if something happened to your PC, if you don't have some way of you don't back it up regularly.
Right.
If something happened to your PC and your hard drive just died, then you're out. But at least the online version, you have that info no matter where you log in and what you're on.
Another item while we're here, I will say that QuickBooks Online from time to time, it I don't want to say it's clunky, but sometimes you can't get access to it. And what you will need to do is oftentimes is clear your cache. I'm in Google Chrome right now, but you would want to go to your settings, and you can search for clear cache and or clear browsing data. And what you would want to do is clear your cached images and files, click the clear data, and then restart your browser. And I will say more times than not that typically solves any access issues with QuickBooks Online. It's not 100% guaranteed, but more times than not that will solve the access problems if you're not able to log in.
And just to add on to some things that Danny's saying, we have taken the QuickBooks classes, and so we would be able to help you with your individual accounts somewhat if you let us know, and we give you an appointment to come down here. And then, you could work on it between now and the next time Danny does a presentation. Then if you've got more questions that you didn't get answered, then Danny will be available to answer those questions the next time.
Hey, Danny, do you want to let folks know what you want to discuss the next 3 sessions?
Yeah, sure. I think the next session will cover invoicing and accounts receivable. The session after that will cover accounts payable and vendors and expenses. And then the session following up, we'll probably just kind of do a combination of everything that we've discussed so far. But I think next time will be a good time for us to discuss invoicing and accounts receivable.
Great. I want to say thank you for your time. I know this is a very busy time of the year for you, and I feel very blessed to have you to devote for the next 3 sessions time out of your schedule to do this for us. And just remember, the next 3 new knowledge sessions will be focused continuation of Danny's discussion of the QuickBooks. And again, I want to remind you that today's session is being recorded, and it will be available on the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator's Facebook page, and then our new knowledge channel face or on YouTube, so you have access to it. Or if you want a copy, just send me a note, and I'll be happy to send it to you. One last question I saw pop up: will these sessions be focusing mainly on QuickBooks Online or both online and desktop?
I would say these sessions will be mainly focusing on QuickBooks Online, but pretty much anything that you can do online, you can also do in desktop. It's just the way you do it in desktop may be a little different than how you do it online. Right. But the way that you actually record transactions will be very similar.
And I'll just say, too, if you enjoyed and got a lot out of this session today, when we get those posted up online, share it with those. I mean, that's why we're doing this, is to help our small business community build their skills. And the more they can learn and protect themselves and make money, the better they're going to be in our community. So, Kathy, I'll just turn it over to you. Any last thing you want to say?
No, just to thank Danny for what he's doing. And again, I want to reiterate that if you try the things that you've learned today and you still don't quite have it down right, call the incubator 276-492-2060, and we will give you an appointment to come down, and we'll try to work with you and help you with your whatever issue you have. You can bring your laptop, and that way, you know, if the two of us can't answer the questions, then Danny will be available in 2 more weeks to walk all of us through that again. So we do have some additional information here at the incubator that's a little more hands-on. So, you know, use us. We're inviting you to use us to help you build your skills. Danny, I want to thank you. I agree with Sandy. You know, I know you've had a busy time, and you know, instead of taking some downtime, you have volunteered to work with us to help with QuickBooks, and we do appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to be here, and thank you everybody for joining today.
Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Be a blessing to somebody today. Thank you. Bye-bye.